hello. It is working. How are you? How are you guys? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Live stream before by myself. Can you hear me? Can someone just tell me if you can hear me? I don't know how these things work. Someone say if you can hear me. Yes. Okay. Hi. I was trying to film some videos and I'm just not feeling it. Oh, is it blurry? Australian internet. How bad is it? Is it worth me trying? I'm having a cuppa, by the way. Always have a cuppa. It looks pretty bad. I just opened it on my channel. maybe live streaming isn't for me. Hi, Miles. Very sorry about it being blurry. Our internet is shite. I'm just drinking English breakfast. I always like a strong English breakfast with extra milk. That's my standard go-to. I will also have like a chai latte or a hot chocolate, but that's all right. That's about it. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Barefoot Taurus. I'm sorry if I don't know all of like your real names, if I'm supposed to know who you are on Facebook or something. I'm not good at that, keeping track. But I'll try to be nice. Oh. Hello, hello, hello. Chai tea latte. Although, I have to admit, I didn't know until recently that a chai latte just meant a chai tea with milk. I thought it meant coffee. So I never ordered them because I hate coffee. And then one day I really felt like a chai tea. So I asked the cafe, I'm like, oh, you do chai tea lattes. Could I just have a chai tea with some milk? And they're like, yeah, that's a latte, love. My name's pronounced Boss Adi. I'm really bad remembering names, but I'll try. I do my best. Yes, I got it. Awesome. What are you guys drinking on Saturday night? Is it Saturday night? It is. When you work shift work, it's always hard to keep track. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry if you're expecting entertainment. I more or less just wanted to see how to live stream and if it was any good when I do it, but evidently the video quality is awful. Saturday morning, how lovely. My Saturday morning was good. I hope yours is good too. Oh, it's probably not helping that I'm uploading, hey. Let me pause this and see if that helps. Hello, Michelle. I'm getting on really, really well with the textured tarot. I'm a little bit obsessed. It's right here. Hang on. It's right here. And I did film my favorites video for the month earlier, so you'll see this shirt again soon. And I spoke a little bit about this. I've had some really, really cool, but you know those kind of creepy cool? Well, they feel a bit synchronistic, you know, those kind of really cool moments. I've had a few with this deck already. Like, I'm pretty sure I'd speak about this in the favorites video, but you know, you guys can get a preview. I've spent a bit of time just kind of playing around with this deck. Oh, did you? That's good. I'm glad. It's a beautiful deck. And I've just had it reads a lot like the life design cards do for me, and they're very sharp, specific, and they feel like I don't know, like I just get really, really clear, specific, almost creepily accurate messages with that deck. And I'm getting the same with this one. I still have a bit of a cough, so forgive me if I cough. But I've had a few experiences. When I first got it, I like to watch other people's walkthroughs when I have a deck, so I can kind of hear what they notice that perhaps I've missed. I'm gonna cough or hiccup or something. And so I was doing that, and I was just shuffling it kind of mindlessly and not really thinking or paying attention. Excuse me. And on 2 occasions, I had the deck that was on the screen at the time pop out of the deck, like fly up out of the deck and land face up. What was on the screen was the card that flew out. So I've had that a few times, and the other cards that I've drawn for myself, I've had it fly out of the deck like 3 or 4 times, and I've drawn it 2 times, I think, or 3 times is the Queen of Swords. And I shuffle well, I shuffle well. And then I also had 2 mornings ago, I drew the Justice card for myself. And then a few hours later, Kellyanne sent me through a reading that I'd ordered from her. And the Justice card was a pretty big card that came up in that. So that is all to say that this deck already has just been very interesting to play around with. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Did the video quality get any better when I cancelled my upload, or is it still shit? Oh, using it for next month's deck. That's cool. Actually, Iris, did you make like an 11-minute walkthrough of this video? Of this deck? I think it was yours that I was watching. Yeah, I don't really normally like real people in decks either, but I don't know, there's something that's done. Yeah, it was your video. Well, I was watching you, so there you go. That sounded weird. You know what I mean. No, I haven't really worked with Thoth. I really like the artwork, but that's about as far as I get. I've had it, I tried. It just felt kind of like oppressive to me or something, like the energy of it. I don't know how to explain it other than that it just felt uncomfortable for me. And I mean, there's always that line between wanting to push yourself and learn something new and push yourself out of your comfort zone, but also I like to enjoy tarot, and I wasn't enjoying the Thoth tarot. Oh, well, that's sad. I'm sorry about the video quality. I'm not sure what I can do, at least for now. I'm sorry. But we're just having a bit of a chat, so I hope it's not too painful for you. But yeah, I do like the artwork, which I think is why I like the Liminal Tarot so much, because I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way about the Thoth. The Liminal Tarot's artwork is based, at least inspired by, the artwork of the Thoth, but it's the Rider-Waite-Smith, and it's just a bit more bright and airy. So I get like those cool lines and the movement without it feeling really uncomfortable. But yeah. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. Oh, you guys are commenting heaps. Yeah, everybody likes the textured tarot. It is pretty great. I really love it. And I know a lot of people don't like the cardstock. And it is quite thick. But I actually really like it. It feels just like her Oracle decks do. And so it's just really smooth, and you just know it's going to stand the test of time. It is hard to riffle shuffle. It is really hard to just like bend. You know, like this is half the deck. It's really hard to bend, let alone doing that with just, you know, one hand. So I just overhand shuffle, and it's really smooth and buttery. So I'm actually really, really enjoying it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the walkthroughs. I don't really feel like I'm particularly good at walkthroughs. I'm more of like a reviewer. But for some decks, I feel like it's worth it. And yeah, I wanted to kind of show this deck off because I know not a lot of people have it at this point, and I really like Lisa, so I kind of wanted to share it, so if people hadn't heard of it or weren't sure about it, they could kind of get an idea whether it was a deck for them, whereas reviews take me months to kind of put together. Are you going to pair it with an Oracle deck? I already have. I've been using it with Lisa's Life Design cards, which I know is the obvious choice, but I love this deck. This, since I bought this, I got it secondhand, which I was very happy about. What was I saying? Oh, I'm not good at live. Normally I'd edit this out. Yes, I know it's an obvious choice, but I adore this deck, and you know how, you guys know how much I love the Dreamtime reading cards, yeah? This is like, it's pushing up there with a favorite. Like, I adore it. I just have really good experiences with it. Love it. So I've been using that with the Texture Tarot, which, you know, makes sense, yeah? Decks on my wish list. Always have decks on my wish list, although my wish list isn't too long at the moment. Top of my list at the moment is actually the Urban Tarot. Excuse me. Whew. I think I remember looking at that deck when it came out, and I think at that point I just wasn't interested in modern decks. There was something about modern decks that just didn't quite appeal to me. I kind of liked the old-timey feel and the more cartoony feel, which I still like. But since I have had the Next World and the Sasarai Beto and even now the Numinous, I think I've just really found a place in my heart, especially for modern decks that are really, really representative of the entire human experience, rather than just, you know, one or two types of people. And the Urban Tarot certainly seems to kind of come across that way. So I don't know, I've kind of revisited that, and then yeah, so that's the top of my list. Also the Sacred Creators Oracle. That's a big one. Yes, was that you that I got it from? Yes. Yeah, I have her Tree Wisdom cards and the Plant Ally cards. Blair got them for me for Christmas, which, yeah, get yourself a boyfriend who gets you Oracle decks for Christmas, yeah? But this started it all. Actually, in my favorites video, I say that this deck and getting it secondhand, I'm really grateful for, not only because I love it so much, but because it's opened me up to the Textured Tarot and our other two Oracle decks. And I don't think I would have gotten into them had I not had access to that, because they're beautiful decks, and I think they're worth the price she's charging. Especially the cut, like everything about them's beautiful, but with the shipping and the exchange rate, it was just, I wasn't 100% sure if I would love it. And so with all of that cost, I was always reluctant. So thank you so much for selling that to me secondhand, and I know you gave me a bit of a deal. I am so grateful, and I love it. Trust me, it found a good home. Can you recommend an Oracle deck to go with the Hip Chick Tarot? I haven't seen that one. Actually, I think I saw someone doing a video of that, and I didn't watch the video yet. So no, I'm sorry, I don't really know what that deck is. Although I'm curious now, we might have a look. I am sorry, I've had a cough for nearly 3 weeks now. So there's lots of editing in my videos at the moment. Just like stopping to cough. No editing in live though. Katie, do you still like the Mesquite Tarot? I still have it. I really like the book. I love the book. And it's one of those decks that I love in theory. I love the look of it every time I pull it out. I think it's so beautiful. But I haven't connected with it. The readings that I've done have just been a little bit lackluster. Like we're not quite in sync yet. You know what I mean? And I do have a whole bunch of decks actually behind me that I do want to trade. And I did for half a second have the thought, am I ready to let go of the Mesquite Tarot? And the answer was no. So still have it, still trying to connect to it. I hope that answers your question. I can really imagine feeling the same if I got it. Do you mean the Life Design cards? I'm not sure. I couldn't get on with the Mesquite Tarot. I liked it, but I think the simplicity ended up giving it really silent readings. Yeah, it feels just like tumbleweed. It just feels, I don't know, not like the Nigel Jackson. The Nigel Jackson just felt snobby, whereas the Mesquite just feels like it just doesn't really want to or have time to talk to me. Am I saying Mesquite wrong again? I thought I'd got it right now. I'm sorry. it's weird when words look simple, but you know, you just don't hear them in your own life and you think you're saying them right. But I'm also a scribe. As part of my job at EA, I'm an education access worker, so I work with students with disabilities in universities. So during during exam period, I scribe. So for students who can't, for whatever reason, they're injured or physically they can't, or they have dyslexia, who can't write their own essays or whatever, I just write down what they say. And it's funny how so many words I think I know, but in like the context of certain industries, I'm just like, I feel like an idiot because I'm like, did you just say that word? I don't know, but I'm gonna write it down. I'm sorry, that was a random story. I'm tired. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. Thank you. Am I allowed to read it out, or does that sound... Oh, it's really nice though. You just made my night. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate you giving me a bit of a deal on that one, because even at your good price, I was still like, is this a deck that's going to be worth it for me? You know, like I'm a bit of a savvy shopper. And so yeah, like the extra $10 you gave me off just was like, okay, I feel comfortable. If it doesn't work, it's fine. And then it arrived and it was amazing. So thank you for letting me have that experience. Do I have the Tarot of Transformation? Is that the purple one, or the... I know there's another, like there's one called the Tarot of Transformation and one called the Transformation Tarot. No, the Tarot of Transformation. I did have that yonks ago. But it felt... I struggle to see that imagery. I've spoken about before how my eyes are a little bit funny. I have something sitting right here and I don't know whether it's a cough or a burp. Yeah, I loved, like it was really pretty, but I couldn't make out the imagery. I just couldn't see. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it all just blurred into one for me, like nothing. I know it's supposed to be flowy, but it just becomes like color to my eyes. So I couldn't really work with it. Sorry, I'm trying to... Do people get better at this as they practice more? The whole keeping up with everything. How have you been? I've been really good, thank you. I'm struggling with the online world right now. But thought I'd just come on and chat with nice people who just want to chat. So yeah, I'm good. How are you? How are you? Totally, you can say it. Thank you. That's very, very nice of you. Very, very flattering. The purple one. Yeah. Okay, so it's not just me. It's very pretty. It's the same with the Shadowscapes and a few others that's why, I mean, a lot of people make fun of me for, you know, like the Guild Tarot, and a lot of my decks that I like are, you know, like they have the solid outline and they're very cartoony. I mean, I like them, I like the colors and I think they're pretty, but I think a big reason that a lot of the decks that I'm drawn to are like that is because I can see clearly the imagery. Yeah. Yeah. It is pretty though. Oh. Oh, how good is a cup of tea on a cold night? Oh. Isn't my mug pretty too? I mean, I know it's a bit blurry. I'm sorry about the image quality, guys. I'm not sure what I can do about it. Apparently we were supposed to get NBN this month. We were supposed to get it like 6 months ago and 12 months ago. And when we do get NBN, my partner's a gamer and he works at NBN, so we'll be getting like top tier NBN, trust me. So maybe then I'll be able to stream like top quality. But for now, you get like 2007 quality video. I am sorry. Oh, cool. I'm not a bit awkward. That's kind of how I feel. That's all right. I keep thinking, oh, it's okay if I stutter, because I have a tiny bit of a stutter. If I stutter or cough, I'll just edit it out. Can't do that. Hello. Hello, Crone Alone. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys knew, but I was really unwell for a few weeks actually. Do you want to hear my story? I we had a really quick cold snap in Melbourne, and cold, like, changes in the weather really affect my asthma, and had a really bad asthma attack, had another one and then another one all in the same day. Had to go to emergency the next day to get a steroid shot in my arm, like an injection, because the puffers and the nebulizer weren't working. That calmed me down, went home. 2 days later, the same thing happened. Had to get another shot. Like, it was awful. And then I just am, like, exhausted afterwards. Obviously, not being able to breathe. It's pretty exhausting. And so I was just, like, couldn't do anything for a week. And then we went to Brisbane and the Gold Coast for my oldest and bestest friend's wedding, which is amazing. And it was a beautiful wedding, but I got food poisoning the day before. It was awful. And then a few days afterwards, a bug had been going around, you know, amongst the people at the wedding. And because the steroid shots, they really affect your immune system, I got really sick. And I was vomiting so much that I wasn't allowed on the plane. So we had to stay in Brisbane for a few extra days. It was a whole ordeal. So that's kind of why I was a bit MIA for a little bit there. But I'm heaps better now. I just have, like, a cough left over. Cheers! Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing better too. It was pretty intense. Oh, you're all very nice. I should do this more often. So I don't know, do you guys want me to talk about anything in particular or show you anything, or you just want to chat about tea? It's just one of those days. Oh. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you. Everyone got lots of photos of me and Blair on Instagram. Sorry about that if you just want tarot pictures. Instagram's like I do whatever on Instagram. But yeah, Blair and I are pretty adorable, so if you want photos of Blair and I, head to Instagram. Hello. Yeah. No, it wasn't fun, but it's all good now. I'm heaps better. How do you know what tarot and oracle decks play well together? I don't know. I just kind of usually did you guys hear that? I'm sorry. Usually I just will do a reading with a tarot deck, because generally I'm more of a tarot person than I am an oracle. I do love my oracle decks, but usually I'll just do a tarot reading, and then at the end often I'll just feel like something's not quite done, like I just need something to kind of round it out, or I just need something a little bit extra, or I don't know, like I just feel like it's not quite done yet. So then I'll just, something will pop in my mind, an oracle deck usually, and then I'll just a deck will just pop in my mind and I'll pull it out and use it, and either it'll be great or it won't, and if it's great I'll probably try it again, and if it is great I'll try it in different ways. That's and sometimes it's also, like I think I spoke about in the tarot combo video, how sometimes it's just literally the decks look like they'll go well together. Like the Numinous, I remember pulling it out and just like some of the images have like white outlining of some of the people, and that just, I was like, oh, that reminds me of the Awakened Soul. So I was like, oh, I wonder if these decks will go well together. And so I just tried them and they did. They worked great. So I know that's a really imprecise, boring answer, but most things I do are pretty imprecise. I've just found out I'll be moving to mainland from Tassie. I have limited space to pack. 3 tarot, oracle, and other tools, plus 3 books you'd pack to survive a month. Ugh. You put me on the spot. Okay, just like a month from now, I would take the textured tarot. Textured tarot. Probably the, Sasarai Beto. And would I want the Next World or the Little Monsters? I feel like I'd take the Little Monsters just for like a more Rider-Waite Smithy one. No, it's fine. It's fine. Just don't me to account. Oracle. Wait, is it 3 tarot and 3 oracle? Yeah. Oracle. I don't really need 3 oracles. I'll probably just take the Life Design cards. Because Life Design cards, I adore them. Yeah. I don't really need 3 oracle decks at one time. I feel like that's enough. I'd rather take more tarot. Other tools. I don't know. I don't really have like tools that I need, you know. Like I have a spray that I like to use. I just use whatever maybe some oils, essential oils. I do have like a humidifier next to my bed that helps with my hay fever and my asthma, and also sleeping and relaxing and meditation. So I take some oils like frankincense, lavender, and like patchouli or something. And books. Oh, now this is hard, but for a month. Okay, so just books I want to read. I'm just looking around at my books. I really want to read The Hate You Give. I forget who it's by, but I bought that a little while ago. It's a novel. I don't know. I feel like I'd take a fiction, a non-fiction, and then maybe some light reading. I have so many books, it's not even funny. I don't know, I'd probably just like walk into my room and see whatever, you know, took my fancy that morning, and then I'd take that. That's generally when we go away. I have everything packed except the morning we're leaving. I walk into my room and I'm like, okay, I need 3 books. And I take a non-fiction, a fiction, and then just something fiction or non-fiction that's just, you know, really easy and only has 1 or 2 pages per chapter or something that I can read like on the plane. Excuse me. After watching a video on oracle decks, I went and purchased both fairy oracle decks and the enchanted map oracle. You're a bad influence. Sorry, not sorry, is pretty much what I say to all of those. Well, I hope you like them. I currently only read for myself, but I'm considering starting to read for others. Is there any tips for when you are reading for others? I guess it's the fear of being wrong. Yeah, I get that. You know what? Honestly, and this might make me sound very unprofessional, but whatever. I would say that some of us are just a little bit more likely to doubt ourselves about everything. Like I'm someone who, even if I'm really sure I turned the bathroom light off before we left, if Blair asks me, did you turn the bathroom light off? I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I did. Because I know, like, you know, our memories, like scientifically, they can be incorrect. So I'm just never 100% sure of anything. And so when I'm doing a reading, I always have that little niggling doubt because that's just kind of who I am. But I think the issue is learning to just kind of accept that and do it anyway. I know that's really, really lame, but that's kind of what I've had to do. And I think just practicing and getting kind of the runs on the board so that, you know, when you have those doubts, you'll be like, hey, I've done this before, it's turned out okay, I can do it again. That's kind of just what I have to do for myself. And it works, and I get lovely feedback, so thank you. I know that's not, you know, you want something a little bit more tangible, but that's been my experience. Thank you so much for answering. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I love frankincense. It can get very strong. I have quite a sensitive nose, but I do love it, and I love it mixed with other things. What do you think about the marigold tarot? I've seen it around a little bit, but I haven't really looked, and that's partly because it's black. As I said earlier, with my eyes being a bit funny, things that are very dark, like if it's black background and then dark foreground, I really struggle with that. I just can't see. That's why I don't have a lot of dark decks. Not because I don't think they're cool, it's just because I kind of can't really see them. And I think that's a pip deck too, isn't it? Which I'm not super keen on. And was that also Kickstarter? I'm not crazy about Kickstarter either. I love the concept. I'm just not super confident in doing it. Sorry. Do you ever think you have too many decks? Yeah. I think there's kind of two different things that I think that can result in that feeling. Some is just that I'm not worthy of this, or I'm selfish, or, you know, all of that kind of crappy feeling stuff where I shouldn't have this. And usually I just tell myself to get my head out of my own ass and stop being so silly, because, you know, I work hard and I have some pretty things. Some people are into all sorts of stuff. I like books and decks. Like, it's not that bad. But then the other thing is just like when I literally just feel kind of like my room gets stuffy. Like I feel like this weird oppressive energy of just like clutter. Not even clutter, just it just feels heavy and oppressive. And that's when I feel like, okay, I need to just clear some stuff out that isn't working for me anymore. And I've done that recently. So I have this big pile of decks. I think there's 11 or 12 decks here that, even though some of them I love, I'm just ready to move on. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that at the moment. Yeah. So I think it's just about kind of like cultivating a collection that really works for you. And that includes shifting and changing things up every now and then, and that's okay. I think you just have to go for it and see how it goes. Yes, do it. Give it a go. Try it. And I found it really helpful to do some online readings. Hey, Amber. Do some online readings that were anonymous. Just so that I didn't have the pressure of, oh, Katey, that YouTuber, you know. And I got really good feedback for them. So like that kind of, I was like, okay, now I can do them as me. So yeah, practice definitely. Just give it a go. Worst case scenario, somebody doesn't like your reading. You kind of assess what you could have done better and you give it another go. Easier said than done though, right? Sorry guys. Just an FYI, they aren't publishing the map with gilded edges any longer. Yeah, I think they're doing that with a lot of decks of theirs. I've seen quite a number of their decks where people are like, oh, it's not gilded. I feel like they just do it for like the first run or something, which is a bit weird, but anyway. I hate having decks that I'm not using. If they're sitting there too long, I just feel the urge to let them go. I'm the same. So actually, I think I'm uploading a video where I'm gonna share some of the decks I want to trade, just because I'm ready to let them go. So that's coming soon. And some of them in there I know I'm going to cop hate for, to be honest, because I've said before in the past that I love them. And it's true, I do. I really do love them, but I haven't used them in a year, and I just feel like my journey's moved past them. Like I'm ready to, like, it's not even like a, you know, a seasonal thing. We'll come back to each other. It's just like we had a great time. I'm glad you were in my life, but, you know, we were a season, not a forever. You know that, a reason, season, or a lifetime? We had our season and we're done. Yeah, so I have a few of those decks. Decluttering is an awesome thing to do every once in a while to change up the energy. Yes, change it up. And also, change it up. And when something's not feeling right, trade it. And then you get something new and cool and exciting, and you get to try something. That's my philosophy. Oh, I need another tea soon. How are you, Amber? Why am I shouting at you? It's not like you're in the back of the room. I find you can move on to new cards. It's like an old boyfriend. You love them, but you have to let them go. Yes, definitely. Like, we've all had those relationships, yeah, where it's like, you know, I love you, but we're not really meant to be, you know? So it might hurt, it might be a bit sad, but, you know, thanks for being a part of my life, but it's time to let go. How did you learn to know which system is right for you? I tend to be passionate about the Rider-Waite-Smith 1 month, then jumping into Marseille, and then on to Thoth. I know you adore your Gill and Liminal. I do adore my Gill and Liminal. I definitely feel like I'm a Rider-Waite-Smith girl, to be honest. But then I have other decks that, you know, don't fit in. Like, I don't think the Stellas is really a Rider-Waite-Smith. I don't think the Gill is really a Rider-Waite-Smith. But I love them. I don't know. What's the question? How did you learn which system is right for you? I don't know. I don't know sometimes whether it's the Rider-Waite-Smith because I fell into it. Because that's what everybody does. Or, I don't know. I suppose the Rider-Waite-Smith works for me because I like the illustration, or some illustration, rather than just Marseille. I appreciate Marseille, but I just don't think it's for me. And then the Thoth, as I said, is just a bit too much. It's too rigid and structured and like oppressive and full on. I feel like the Rider-Waite-Smith's this nice balance of, there's esoteric stuff there, but there's also just pretty stuff there, and I don't know, like it just feels like a happy medium sort of a deck. And then also the fact that we have so many takes on the Rider-Waite-Smith, I think is really interesting and exciting. Hello from Paris. Hello. We have a French artist who I'm not going to pronounce and insult, who makes some beautiful decks. She's a new project of tarot, the Lily Black and Black Tarot. Ooh, can we Google it? Make room for more decks, yes. I have for, I don't know how many years, I'm really bad with time, but I don't know, at least 2 or 3 years now, I've been between 50 and 70 decks. Like, that's just kind of where I sit. And at the moment, I'm kind of getting up towards like 65, and I feel myself being like, whoa, okay, some of these have to go. And then I'll go back down to like 55. And like, I've noticed that I kind of sit between 50 and 70 decks, and that's where I'm comfy. Black Lily deck, I thought that was an older one. Maybe I'll have to have a look later. Oh, okay. Oh, Lily Black and Lily White. Oh, that looks pretty. Oh, 2 decks. Okay, so is one going to be light and one's going to be dark? I definitely like the light one, just because, as I said, like black backgrounds I find difficult. Looks very pretty. I'll have to have a bit more of a look into it. Thank you for pointing that out. Really like the colours. Where am I? I have to apply a 30 deck max limit, as my deck buying was getting out of hand. Just didn't have the money or the space. Well, that's very good that you were able to be self-aware and put some boundaries in place. I think that's the most important thing, hey? Like, people ask me how many decks I have as if, I mean, it's fine to be curious, right? But I think some people ask because they want to know what is acceptable, or they want to get judgy. And I think it just, you know, it's like alcohol, right? It's not the amount of drinks that you have that determine whether you have a problem or not. It's the impact it's having on you. If you have 500 decks and you have the room and you have the money and you're happy, that's great. If you have 50 decks and it's too much, that's a problem. I have 50 to 70 and it's perfect. But 30 sounds like it's right for you. I'm so fortunate that I have the French person's name. Oh, you're the Lenormand and Oracle. Very cool. Just asked a friend of mine to help me choose my next deck, and she suggested a tarot intervention instead. Oh, that's too funny. Crossroads and eucalypts. Are you from Australia? I feel like maybe I should know you, and now I'm going to come across really rude. I don't know. Just eucalypts. Obviously. Australian, right? Yeah, no, Wagga. Oh, not Wagga Wagga. I'm originally from Griffith. Like, I was born there. That's where my family's from. Good old Wagga. I feel so Australian when I say words like Wagga. Hello, Wagga. Just traded 2 mass-produced decks for 1 indie. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so happy because I not only landed an amazing deck, but yeah, I love doing that too. I don't know if you guys remember this or know this, but you know my Fantastic Menagerie, independent, out of print. I actually traded 8 decks for that one, and I was so happy I did, because even though there was some cool decks amongst there, and I think there might have even been 1 or 2 that were out of print but not as like difficult to find, it was like I'm getting rid of 8 decks that I don't work with, and I'm getting 1 that I'm going to love. Hello, Simon. Yes, I finally built up some courage. What books would you suggest to explore the pagan path, and could you please touch how you work with the goddess? Touch on how I work with the goddess, maybe. I still have a cough, Simon, so I apologize for the pagan books. Well, it depends. You're in Australia, yeah? Australian Druidry was amazing. I really liked Pagan Cosmology. That's a bit heavier though. My favorite Pagan 101 book is Paganism by Joyce and River Higginbotham. Sorry. There's a lot of good ones, and I feel like it really depends on what you're interested in. Even books like The Book of English Magic by Philip Carr-Gomm, that gives like a really cool like history, but in an interesting like storytelling way. Just overview of all different types of magic, obviously English, but I feel like if you notice things that you're interested in, then you can go off and learn more about those things. But definitely Australian Druidry is a good one, and it's only small. It's like one of those pagan portals, so it's cheap too. I don't know, there's so many good ones. But you know how when somebody asks you a question and you just like, all of the books I've ever read, the titles have just disappeared from my brain. Yeah, I think definitely Paganism, Joyce and River Higginbotham is always my #1 beginner pagan book, just because I think it's so well rounded. And in my experience, a lot of Pagan 101 books aren't really Pagan 101 books, they're Witchcraft 101 books or Wiccan 101 books, do you know what I mean? Whereas this is like an overview of different pagan paths and kind of the commonalities between pagan paths and that sort of stuff. It does discuss the individual paths, but it's not like a how to become Wiccan, but we call it paganism. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that answer your question? Feel free to... Oh, and how I work with the goddess. I haven't for a little while now. But I don't know, and it was different for each one. Yeah, no, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding your question, really. For Lilith, it was a lot of sex magic. And also just kind of sitting in sacred space and talking. Prayer is a really big one for me, which might surprise people, being like an agnostic pantheist. Prayer is huge for me. And then also just, yeah, sex, masturbation, big ones for Lilith. But then more for like Kuan Yin and stuff, it would be just like being quiet and meditating and paying attention to beauty and acknowledging and appreciating beauty. So it's kind of just like, I try to, more than anything, just like embody them in some way, or start to act out and live what they kind of represent in a celebration of them, in honor of them. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I've always enjoyed doing it. I'm a downy, but defense posting. I hope it's going okay for you. People either love that life or hate it, so I hope you love it. I'm always curious. I love when people share their decks. Sometimes you would never get to see decks due to price, out of print, vintage, and many other reasons. So I greatly appreciate people taking the time to create videos. Yeah, I really like watching other videos too. Even like if I'm not in the market for a deck, I just think it's interesting to see different decks and see how different readers respond to different cards. So yeah, I'm all about different videos. Did that make sense about the goddess thing? Sorry if people are a bit weird about masturbation and sex and stuff, but I'm sex positive here, friends. Yeah, Kuan Yin's been a big one for me, especially like with healing, as I was heading into my path with paganism. I think because she's not a scary figure, you know, whereas Lilith, you know, there's kind of some demonic connotations with Lilith, whereas Kuan Yin, I mean, it's hard to see her as anything other than good, right? So when you're kind of coming out of a Christian framework, she was really nurturing and kind, I found. And so she kind of supported me and kept me feeling safe and okay with my journey away from Christianity. So yeah, that was nice. I've started to become interested in pagan Anglo-Saxon beliefs, but there is little historical resources compared to others. The nearest is Norse, but not completely transferable. Very interesting. I think, is it Egyptian? Is that how you say her YouTube name? She does a lot of Anglo-Saxon, like, spiritual stuff, doesn't she? And then I think even Annika from the Sea Priestess, she's really into that stuff too. So maybe you could kind of have a chat to them about, or just watch some of their videos. That might be helpful. I'm not sure. Someday soon I may decide to start making videos. Can't quite do it yet. The goddess thing makes total sense. Oh, well, that's good. But definitely make videos. The more the merrier, yeah? Yeah, definitely. Egyptians kind of like got a dual interest in Egyptian worship, hence the name, but then also more like English. She often speaks about that. Yes, the lily black and the lily white. I found it. It looks really interesting and very pretty. I'll definitely have a better look later. Oh, there's some videos. Good, good, good. Good night. How long have we been here for? Am I boring you all yet? Well, I mean, I know the video quality is pretty terrible, but we've managed, haven't we? It's not been too terrible. Oh, Simon, you're still here. I need another cup of tea. The way of tea. The way of tea. Oh, girl, you are speaking my language right now. Kuan Yin oolong tea. Oh. 3:40 a.m. in California. Oh my god. I can't do that shit anymore. I'll get a manic episode. I should be so careful, especially in winter. But good night. Have a lovely sleep. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad. How early is it there? Gotta go off shopping. Not tarot decks. Bye. Oh, that sounded rude. That's like my rude bye. It's not. Oh, you've already done so much for me though. I'm gonna have to give you something in return. Email me and we can discuss a trade or something. I do that to Blair. I'm like, bye. Oh, I didn't mean it rudely. I just... well, that would be amazing because I'm all about tea. Actually, I've been working on something else, guys. I went to I think I mentioned it last year. I went to, it's called Batia. They're a youth mental health organization. And basically their whole philosophy, what they do, is get young people under the age of 30 to kind of develop their mental health story that is honest and authentic, but also hopeful and educational. And so I went to one of their workshops, and you kind of, it's free to go to the workshops, and they kind of work with you, and it's really great. And then from that, they kind of then will call you up in a few months and chat to you, you know, if you kind of fit a need that they don't already fill, or if you're just a great public speaker or whatever, they'll ask you basically to join their ranks, kind of establish your story a bit more, and then go out and speak to schools. So a few months ago, they contacted me and asked me to become a speaker. So I've been working on my story, and we pretty much finished it this week. And it was really interesting to kind of redo my story in a hopeful way, because I've shared my story publicly before, like on ABC radio and stuff, but it's always been very angry at how I didn't get the help I needed, even though I was asking for it. Even on the night that I attempted suicide, you know, I called helplines, I called psychiatric triage, I called people, you know, and they told me I wasn't a priority, basically. So I had a lot of anger around that. So now shifting and telling the same story in an authentic way, but in a hopeful way, has been a really interesting journey and really healing for me too. And the reason this... Sorry, I have a point. The reason I just got reminded of it is because I was thinking about tea and getting it as a gift, and I got a bit emotional because in my story, and this is very true, I have one of my best friends. She's from Thailand, and I met her and she moved to Townsville and we worked together. It was awesome. And she found out about my suicide attempt, found out that I was in psychiatric hospital, and she didn't know what to do or what to say. So instead, every month, she'd send me a little box of different teas to try. I was in hospital, and a lot of my friends decided that I was a terrible person and they didn't want anything to do with me, but Annie would send me tea. And so that's in my story. And yeah, sorry. But that, like, getting tea as a gift is just a very special thing to me because of that. Yeah, she was amazing. I got to see her when I was on the Gold Coast a few weeks ago, which was good. Yeah, so that's a little story time for you. Yeah, I agree, Simon, but at the same time I understand that it can be hard for people to process. Yeah, but I was called a lot of things, which was not nice. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was lovely. Oh, what did you retract? I always get so curious when you see that. I agree. I really do. But yeah, I internalized a lot of that at the beginning. Like, I really did internalize the whole selfish, crazy, but fuck that noise. I tried hard. My friends were amazing. Those who weren't, yeah, very true, very true. Yeah. But yeah, love tea. I love my friends who give me tea. Oh, my tea's cold. Yeah, I think also I was very, even though people knew that I was ill, you know, like I was pretty messed up with my alcohol abuse and stuff, people knew that there was something wrong, but I still presented as pretty kind of like I was handling shit. So, you know, when I called them up and I'm like, hey, I don't want you to hear this from somebody else, but I took an overdose and I'm in hospital. Yeah. There was a lot of anger. I think for some people who aren't really self-aware, anxiety and upset can just manifest as anger. Like it's just like the automatic, which was very hurtful. But I think now with, you know, 5 years distance, I can see it a little bit less, hurts a little bit less. I'm tearing up here, but tea is so powerful. Tea is powerful. Oh, there's a tea, there's a magazine on tea. Oh my gosh. You were like, I feel like I've learnt so much tonight. Yeah. New belief systems or just ways of thinking about the world are pretty great, hey? Seriously, there's a tea magazine. Is that what I'm reading? I'm sorry, it's quite a far away. Tea said, once my piece on tea is out in the... Oh, okay, so you wrote something for the Aussie Wellbeing Mag about tea. That's amazing. I suppose, talking about my story, is that something you guys would want to see a video on, or is that a bit too intense? Like, now that it's finished, would you want me to read it to you, or would that... Like, not right now, but... I don't know. Blair asked me that, if I was going to share it with you guys, and I'm like, It's a bit emotional. Like, I still cry a bit when I read it. Yeah? Okay. We'll see. I'll have to develop a bit of confidence. But, I mean, I'm going to have to read it to schools, yeah? So, oh, Simon, that's a bit too nice, but thank you. Yeah. What are your favourite tea flavours? I'm really boring. English breakfast all the way. I like Australian afternoon and stuff as well, but I'm pretty much a black tea person. I like rooibos, but mostly because when I was in hospital, I was told I wasn't allowed to drink caffeine, and I was like, that can't work. But I met a friend who's still one of my best friends, who was also in from an overdose, bipolar, except she'd been manic, so it was like the same but different, and she was really into tea, and so she's like, you like dark tea, and you like to have tea with milk. How about rooibos? I know it's a red tea, but it's a dark red tea. So I like rooibos. English breakfast. I know, I feel so boring. You know, when like tea people are all like, oh, I like infusions. And I'm like, can I just have an English breakfast? Okay. That sounds like a bit of a yes. Well, when it is finished, because it's pretty close, I just have to change up a few things. Because that was the other interesting thing, is because I'll be telling it to especially like high school age students, kind of, we had to be really super careful with the language around, especially my alcohol abuse, but also my suicide attempt, you know, and ensuring safety. So that was really interesting too. Tea plant is so healing. I regularly write on yoga. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really cool. Getting published. Definitely. So that you do that regularly. I think I'm going to have to start buying that magazine. I'd say it's really up to you. But as someone who suffers from anxiety and studying social work, I think it's important. Yeah. I definitely agree. That's part of the reason I'm so open about it. Is partly because I refuse to feel ashamed and me being like, kind of fake it till you make it, yeah? But also just because I feel kind of like, if I'm able and somewhat confident to be vocal, then I don't want to say I feel a responsibility, but I feel like it's important. So yeah. Thank you. Miles, are you just commenting on something I said ages ago, or are you like really behind on the video? But yeah, Rider-Waite-Smith decks are great. It is interesting though, watching in the community how we kind of go through cycles of what everybody's into. And you know, there's kind of like stages of people being really into Thoth and the occult, and you know, and then people get really into Marseille and like the tradition and the simplicity and how it lets your intuition fly. And then people are all into the Rider-Waite-Smith as like the birth of modern tarot. It's like, I love it. We go around in little cycles. I feel like we've been in a bit of a Marseille stage lately, which is cool, which is cool. I think it's wonderful you were talking to high school students. My daughter's boyfriend committed suicide last year. Fuck. Yeah, that's heavy. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your daughter's okay. That would have been really tough. But definitely, I think that's the whole point of Batir, is that it's literally a talking elephant. That's what they're named after, talking about the elephant in the room, because the guy who started it, basically, he felt the same way, that he was really ill and felt like if he had have heard somebody talking about it, normalizing it, he would have gotten help sooner. So yeah, that actually, the cycle depends on what's the popular people are into. A little bit, it does. I feel like Kellyanne really brought back an appreciation for the Rider-Waite-Smith, and then Kelly from The Truth and Story really brought an appreciation for the Marseille, like to like wider. I'm sure other people were already doing those things, of course, but kind of like disseminate it. Yeah, which is, I think it's a cool thing because people get exposed to new things and get to try out new things. But I think it's also, we need to be careful of, you know, just following trends for the sake of it. Like if Marseille isn't for you, that's okay, you know? It's not really for me. Always seems to be a few months following March of the Pips. Yeah. Did they do that again this year? One of my friends in the US introduced tea at the mental health unit, and another one who is in Hollywood acting industry recently brought tea into a prison and has been accepted beyond measure. Very cool. Do they not have tea at those facilities though? Or is it like a special kind of tea? No. Talk tea all you want. Books, tea, tarot, dogs, Eurovision, bushwalking. Anybody wants to talk to me about any of those things, I will talk all day. Tea ceremony. Okay, right. Sorry. I wish I could make this bigger so I could read a bit easier. Tea ceremony. My mum's always telling me I should get into that. Do you have a universal healthcare in Australia? We do. It's definitely been kind of chipped away at over the years by the Liberals. Liberal in Australia, I know liberal to some people means like progressive. It doesn't. Liberal means free market. So I'm not a liberal. Our Liberal is kind of like our moderate right-leaning party who is in government at the moment. So we do have universal healthcare to an extent. Our mental health care system is terrible at in most areas for the public system. So we kind of have a private and a public system that run alongside each other. So you can go to see a doctor, bulk billing, so you don't have to pay. If you do pay, it's like $10 or $20. Hospitals are free, especially emergency, stuff like that. But then a lot of the time, if you get sent to a specialist, either you kind of have to wait in the public system or you can pay, or I have private health insurance. And mine's kind of at the top end of expensive for my age. I pay about $190 a month, which is a lot. But that's because I still have psychiatric hospital admission on my healthcare, on my insurance, because even though I haven't been in there for a while, they cost more than $1,000 a night if you're going to pay out of pocket. So I just like to know that it's there in case. So yeah, does that answer your question? It would be fun if there were more illustrated Marseille decks. I don't know what that means, because isn't the whole point of Marseille is that it's kind of not illustrated? I know the Marseilleites don't like you calling it non-illustrated, but hello! Welcome! We're just having a bit of fun. Yeah, it is expensive for Australia. I think there still are slightly more expensive options, but because I'm only 27, I think I have the second highest. The only more expensive one is if you get covered for palliative care. I'm like, don't quite need that just yet, I don't think. But to have psychiatric hospital admission is very expensive. But it costs a lot for them, so. Yes, hello. Oh wow, there's 29 of you. I was so scared I'd come on and be sitting here being like, cool. So thank you guys. Thanks for chatting with me. This is about as social as I get on Saturday nights these days. I need to... Is anyone else out of tea? I'm out of tea. It's very tragic. Yeah, did that answer your question? Sometimes I worry I don't quite answer questions. I just start rambling. Milo! I haven't had a Milo in so long. Do you guys overseas have Milos? Like Milo, it's a drink. Like it's like chocolate but not... Is it malt? Is that what it is? So good. It's really good on ice cream. Just woke up and picked up my iPad. Hello! Yeah, this isn't something that happens very often. I can't promise it'll happen regularly. Especially with the quality. I am sorry about that. Just recapping, I'm still on copper internet. We might have universal healthcare, but we have shit internet. Coffee. I really dislike coffee. I wish I could be a coffee drinker so I could be like, you want to go get coffee? No. I think it smells funny. I'm in Singapore. And you love Milo. Fabulous. Hello. Not heard of it. Mate, you best get onto that though, hey. Milo's great. Going hard with a hot Milo. It's this really good... Is it malt? Is that what Milo is? It's funny when you grow up with something like Vegemite, you don't even know what it is anymore. Oh, Milo Yiannopoulos. No, I don't want that. Please no. I want Milo the drink. Do not taint my beautiful drink. It doesn't even say what it is. Anyway, it's kind of like a chocolatey drink, but not real. Yeah, chocolate and malt. There we go. And you put it in milk. You can have it hot or cold. And it's kind of like Ovaltine, but like 1,000 times better. Like, I don't like Ovaltine. Yes, chocolate malt drink. There you go. Iced tea. Lovely. Yeah, I feel like we need to like package up our very Australian things. Like, just a bit of Milo, a bit of Vegemite, some Tim Tams. I don't know what else, and like send it out to people and be like, here you go. Need to have like little cultural exchanges. You can send me some Marmite, you can have some Vegemite. Are they even that different? How did we get onto this? 1 minute we're talking about like suicide prevention and now we're talking about Vegemite and Milo. Oh, Tim Tam Slam, yep. When I was in hospital, I was teaching people how to, like, there was a lot of older people there, and I was teaching them how to do that. It blew their minds. It was great. Saturday night, had to check time in Australia. Woke up, can't go back to sleep. 4 a.m. Bugger that. It's just randomness of live chats, evidently. Yeah, I drink tea pretty much all day. I also drink a lot of water though. Hello, hello. I don't know if I will. Blair's out tonight. I was trying to film videos today, filmed 1 or 2, had a bit of trouble. I was feeling a bit despondent with the whole YouTube world. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go on live and see how this goes. Either I'll love it or I'll hate it. I think I'm kind of into it. But the quality of my video I know is awful, so I am sorry. But hello. Hello should be the first thing I say. I lived by the Ovaltine factory growing up and you could smell it. I never liked Ovaltine. I think because my introduction to Ovaltine was the... Do you call it Ovaltine? I got corrected once that it's Ovaltine, but I always thought it was Ovaltine. You used to get like the little like tablets of them and chew on them. Oh, sorry. It just like the taste would like sit in my mouth. Tea is fine. It's like 90% water. Yeah. Why despondent? Oh, do we really want to get into that? It is Ovaltine. Tine? Is it Ovaltine? Oh. I just struggle with stuff happening in communities. I get very overwhelmed. And my inclination is to just withdraw. I'm trying not to do that. Used to be Ovaltine like in the 60s. Okay. Ovaltine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, goodo. I'm not wrong. I always feel like such a fool when I start saying something and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. That's good. Okay. At least I'm not the only one then. Not Spawn. Sorry. I just had to pick a water bottle today because I forgot mine. Don't worry. I'll use it lots before it like falls apart. I'll resist withdrawal alongside you. I've done that every time like big stuff has happened. I just get overwhelmed and I go away for a while. And then I really struggle coming back. So that's why I'm like trying really hard not to go away, because one day I'm going to do that and not come back, and that makes me sad. But anyway. Has anyone else got new decks that they've gotten recently? I don't even know how old Simon is. What, like 30? I'm really bad with ages. No, I don't know. Circo, yes. Oh, wow. It's the prettiest deck. Simon, can I ask a question? Do you know, oh gosh, I've just forgotten it. The person who created the Circo Tarot, she's released another tarot and it's like the how to... she's released like, it's like the how to deal tarot, but it looks the same as the Circo. Is it the same? Do you know? I don't know. What smelled better than it tasted? I'm sorry, I missed that. Oh, the Ovaltine? Is that what smelled better than it tasted? I have to re-look at this Marigold, but it is, Marigold is a pip deck, isn't it? I don't think it's for me, but I'd still like to have a bit of a look at it. Just put up a video for the Victorian. I did see that. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that and I'm like, haven't heard of that one before. It was the black and white one, yeah? I remember seeing your thumbnail. No? Now I'm Googling it. I was just coming up with a Victorian romantic. Don't you hate that? Also, I really find it annoying. Can people stop doing this? When they name their tarot decks like a really regular word, or they name it after, you know, like they'll call it, I'm not thinking of this because of you, Trace. Like, if they call the deck, you know, the Moon Tarot. And so every time you Google Moon Tarot, it just shows you the Rider-Waite-Smith Moon card. We live in an internet age, people. Think about the searchability of your titles, please. I don't know. That's just my thoughts anyway. Ophidia Rose and the Triomphe della Luna in English. Oh, because they come in a bunch of different languages and like all the glow in the dark things and stuff, don't they? It's very cool. Earth Warriors Oracle. Now I'm just like Googling all these things and I'm gonna... No. Oh, is that the one? Oh, that's the one by Alana Fairchild. Fair enough. It is a pip deck. I'm not a pip person, but it's so pretty. Fair enough. Some things are good enough to kind of inspire you, aren't they? To try something. Unicorn Crystal Tarot. I kind of really want that, but I know I have my little monsters. I don't need another adorable Rider-Waite clone, but I really want it. But I don't want it. And I don't even want to say the I've heard the Japri, Japaritze. Is it terrible that I don't think that deck's for me, but I also really, I don't want to try because I don't want to have to try and pronounce it. But I love that Simon's gotten really into it. It is a very pretty deck, very interesting. Okay, so just a few cards from the How to Deal are different from the Circo. Hey, Veronica, dude. Oh, okay, now this is scrolling. The Hedge Witch Field Guide. Oh, is that Oracle deck? Wisdom of the Oracle. Oh, Wisdom of the Oracle. Oh, I kind of miss that deck sometimes. It was a good little reader. Sacred Sites German deck. Interesting. I'm sure it probably would, Simon. But if anyone can tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce it, like for sure, maybe I'd try. You watch 2 videos at the same time to compare. How to Deal is softer. Added clothes onto one woman. Oh, so it's like the PG version? Is that what you mean? How strange, but interesting. It feels awkward. Oh, hello. Veronica, I'm having a lot of fun with the Clover Tarot. Thank you. Sorry, I keep forgetting to look here. I'm looking over at the chat. And for anyone who's just joined, I'm aware that the video is terrible. I am very sorry. That's okay. Yeah, it's really pretty. I love the colors. Oh, I have a lot of beautiful decks at the moment. I'm feeling very lucky. Actually, I had another really cool experience too. Just, you know what? Feeling despondent with the community, and then people like Veronica Jude and Veronica Rose just being fabulous. Like, how can you not love this community when there's people like that around? Veronica Rose recently sent me the Dreaming Way, which is another deck. I get like curious about decks, but I don't always want to invest in them if, you know, there's a 50-50 chance I'm not going to be into it, right? And so she sent it to me. Actually, why am I showing you? You can't see it with this shit video. But she sent it to me, and the day after it arrived, I got the got my reading from Kellyanne. I ordered a reading from Kellyanne, and she'd used the Dreaming Way. So it was just like one of those very, very small moments that just felt very meaningful to me, and it meant that I got to sit, like, pull out the cards that Kelly was reading, Kellyanne, and sit with those cards on my altar as she was reading the reading to me. So it was almost like, you know, I don't know, made the reading more real, and yeah, it's just lovely. So thank you both. I know Veronica Rose isn't here, but thank you, Veronica Jude. I think my cough's coming back. I don't want to blow your ears off. The Frida Kahlo Tarot. Really? That'd be interesting. I'll have a look at it later. Sorry, I get distracted. Ah. Oh, I feel like I've been here for a while. Hello. On black tarot decks. What do you mean by black tarot decks? I'm not quite sure. By Gabby Angus. I feel like I know that name. Oh, did the bonfire. That would explain. I'm like, I know that name. Where do I know that name? Can you, Raven, can you explain what you mean by black tarot decks? There's a few different things that could mean, so I just want to know before I... So I'm playing with my hair because I get when I'm a bit tired, I play with my hair. Black backgrounds. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you mean like black and white or you mean like black. I have the Wanderer's Tarot. It's black with white drawings. Yeah. I have a few black and white decks. Black backgrounds. Okay, that is what you mean. There you go. You got a few lists from people. That's handy. Thanks, team. Oh, I'm yawning. I think I should probably head off, guys. Getting tired. Have I been here for ages? I never know if I've been here like 5 minutes or 5 hours. I have the prototype card sent from Arthur Wayne. Cardstock is unbelievable. Oh, is this the true black? Oh, the true black. Interesting. Oh. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It's been a great Saturday night. And at least I know I can do this live stuff even if the video sucks. Maybe I'll try again when we have NBN. Although they keep changing that. We were supposed to have it like 18 months ago. And then we were like officially getting it at the beginning of June. Yes, do a video, Simon. Okay, well, good night, everybody. Or good morning, wherever you are. Thanks for hanging out for my first live. Ugh. Hope it wasn't too weird. But I had some fun. And chatting with you guys was fun too. So, bye. Love you all. I don't know how to stop it though. How do I stop it? Help. Nope. We're just going to be stuck here until my phone goes dead. Does anyone know how to stop it? Okay, I think I've worked it.